As I bring you along around our farm for a couple of days, I'm just going to show you the ins and outs of what things consist of and having a homestead. Show you that it's not always glamorous, but it is fulfilling work. And hope y'all enjoy these few days with me in today's video. So as y'all see here, we are working on some fencing. This is a temporary movable electrical fencing. We have a large perimeter fence going around this property, and I think that's something that people often don't realize whenever you have animals or larger animals. This is for cattle. You need fencing, and our property did not have any fencing. It had some like very old barbed wire fencing, but nothing really usable. It was all pretty dilapidated, so all of our fencing has had to be redone. We actually had to get this area you see us working in clear cut last summer to make room for more pastures and fencing. So it's not an aesthetic pasture right now. It's not beautiful lush green grass. There's still stumps everywhere from the clear cut because we didn't have it bulldozed and clear. We're letting the land regenerate on its own naturally with just animals being on it, grazing on it. So we are still kind of rotationally moving our animals around using this type of fencing you see us putting in here. This is like a PVC type post, and you run your electrical wire through it. Our animals are trained on electric fences, which is a blessing because you can move them around where you need them. We have some other animals in a front pasture, a very small pasture, that are not electrical fence trained, and they're kind of just confined to that one pasture. It has been a blessing to be able to move them around, but it does take work. So on this day, this evening, the children and my husband are putting in the post, and then you see the next day you'll see us getting the cows into that beautiful lush green grass, which they were so excited for. It is the next morning now, and I'm heading out for morning milking. I've talked about milking before. It has been a huge learning curve, and I learn something new all the time in the process. It's not glamorous. I don't just do it because it's fun and it's just the end thing to do. I do it so I can get the most nutritious food into my family. There was a time when my husband was milking. It was really hard on him to get milking done and get into his job every morning. That was when I was freshly postpartum. So I am so honored to be able to milk every day, but I'm not saying it's an easy job. And there's a lot of people that are getting into milking cows, and that's wonderful and learning about raw milk, but just know it is labor of love. It's something that gets done every day. We do calf share, so there are times we can miss some milking, but I am so hyper focused on getting nutritious food into my family. I'm not just doing it because it's cute and it's the end thing. It's such a beautiful way to get this beautiful raw food into my family's diet. I want to talk a minute about the homesteading portrayal on some social media accounts on how it's all dreamy and beautiful, and there are people who go out and just buy everything new and they start a homestead. They have the brand new everything. That is not it here. We are doing this for sustainability, to feed our family, and you see nothing is glamorous, nothing is top notch. It's all just what we can get with the means we have to get this into our family. We're not doing this for the aesthetics, we're doing this for the functionality and the nutritious that this provides our family. So providing our family with fresh raw milk is a very high priority. Eventually raising beef cows to have fresh beef for our family. My husband harvests a lot of wild game right now. So it's all just a process of feeding our families. Again, there are homesteading accounts that portray everything as beautiful and aesthetic, and it gives you that urge for that dream. And I just want you to know that's not what it is here. It's strictly a service that we do for our family to provide for them. I'm doing a little bounce here to get baby back to sleep. Baby does milk me on my back, and I remember there was a day when he was first born, I thought I will never be able to milk with him on my back. I've seen other women do it, and it was not working when he was freshly born. That was when my husband was still milking. I had a type of a wrap, baby wrap. I could put him on my back at about 6 or 8 weeks, but it wasn't working. So we have come a long way in learning to milk with baby on my back. He is usually takes a milking nap. I call it. He's my milking buddy. He usually takes a nap about halfway through milking. I milk at about 7:30 or 8. I think there's a misconception that you have to milk the cow first thing in the morning. You don't. My husband did do that when he was milking. You don't have to milk the cow first thing in the morning. You can milk the cow at whatever time is convenient for you. This is the time when I can get all my children fed. I can get baby situated. He's been fed. He's usually sleepy by now, and I can get out and milk. My other children can play inside. Sometimes they come on and watch me milk. They run around the barn. They run around the pastures around. But you don't have to milk first thing in the morning. Just wanted to let y'all know that if you've thought that milking had to get done first thing in the morning. We also currently every spring get a new shipment of baby chicks. This is not how I ideally want to do this. I eventually want our own hens to raise our own babies on our property. We've had trouble keeping roosters. They either attack our children or a couple of ours just died. So we have not had good luck with roosters to be able to hatch out our own eggs on our property. So we are still having to buy baby chicks every year. I know that is not sustainable. It's just where we are. We're on about year 3 of chickens. So we have baby chicks that I'm checking on here, checking the waters. That is one of the most time-consuming things when you have baby chicks, and why I just dream of the day we can have our mama hens raise their own baby chicks. And we are not their mamas, but we're just not there yet. It all is such a process in homesteading, and like when we first started, I never even dreamed we'd have the cow, but now we are having the cow. We have piglets in the barn right now. That we had 2 mama pigs have their piglets about a week apart. So we had 13 baby piglets at our property at one time that we are taking care of. Well, the mama pigs are taking care of them. We're just taking care of the mamas in the barn. This is currently our other chick brooder where the chicks are growing. We split off a section of our big chicken coop where our hens roost at night and lay eggs, and our hens are free range, so they can come and go. And a lot of times we have Easter egg hunts around the barn, but just showing y'all some of the clips of our barn and how animals are. Again, our barn was here, the structure was here, but all of it has been reconfigured to accommodate our family's needs. So it's all like nothing was set for us to homestead and get started. It's all been a process of making it work for our family over this 5-year time span we've lived here. I don't know if y'all remember my first milking video I shared with y'all back in, it was last spring when our calf had her first calf. I milked in the barn hallway. We did not have a stanchion, and I got, I think, a quart of milk. And I remember thinking, we will never get to where we have a gallon. And here we are now, calf sharing with our cow, getting a gallon and just a little over a gallon of milk here. And I'm so just thankful that we are finally here. Our cow is not full Jersey. She is 3/4 Jersey, a quarter Dexter. So that means she doesn't have quite as much of a milk supply, but she has enough for our family, and it's perfect because we can calf share and not have to be milking twice a day. The calf gets what she needs, we get what we need. This is the perfect amount for us at this time. And just again, raw milk is a high priority in our family and one of the staples in our family's diet. So I will never take for granted the process of milking and the time it takes, and I'm just honored that I have the opportunity to do that every day. One of the more aesthetic, calming, peaceful jobs around our homestead is hanging laundry. And I've had questions before of people ask me, do I hang all my laundry? Clothes and everything, because a lot of people I think will hang sheets or towels out on the lawn just to get that fresh summer breeze in their towels. But yes, I hang all of our laundry in the warm months, towels, sheets, clothes, everything, socks, diapers, it all goes on the clothesline because it's really a peaceful, calming part of my morning, and it's really a relaxing, calming experience. No, your clothes do not smell weird hanging out on the clothesline. I've had that question before too. So as we plant some seeds for our summer garden, I want to share with y'all some thoughts I had as I was doing this. You may see a lot of chaos in these clips. You're going to see dirt thrown about, seeds in tiny hands trying to make their way into the dirt, popsicle stick labels being written, and then trying to get into the pots. The mess was enough to overwhelm me. I could have just sent them away and said, this is too much, Mama's going to do this job, but I stopped myself. They were having so much fun. Continue to let them work along beside me and watch them play, and every now and then chime in to offer me some help. And I thought to myself, y'all are wild. But as adults, I think we could all agree that we miss being that wild and free as children are. I remind myself not to take that away from them. As another few minutes pass, I think time is oh so short. I recount the years of my naked babies playing and helping us in the garden as they have every year. I can already see these moments slipping away where I'm the only one starting the seeds and my children are off doing something else, not wanting to be beside me, or even farther in the future when they aren't even at home to help me with our gardens. One more hour listening to them make up fun little games back and forth between themselves. One more little laugh. Mama, can you try my dirt pie? As I pretend to take a bite from the mound of dirt they're handing me. As we continue to plant the seeds, if I have a helping hand to help me plant the seeds, I remind them to take their time and do their best job. But really, I'm reminding this to myself. The best I can do every day is to take my time and be in the moment with them and do the best job I can as their mother, not rushing these sweet, messy moments and surrendering to all the aspects that motherhood brings. This is why we planted seeds outdoors instead of in our basement, as my husband and I typically do after the children are asleep. What a fun mess and memories were made in this process, and a full mama heart I held afterwards. It's time to get some more food going for our family. I am constantly baking something because this is an easy, nutritious way that I can use whole grains to get snacks into my family. I'm not a big advocate for snacks. I really promote eating meals and my children eating meals, but in the summer months especially, my children are out running around all day long outside, burning energy, and they need some sort of something substantial between meals. So typically that's some sort of baked good and a glass of milk, or a baked good and a boiled egg, so that I'm constantly getting nutritious foods into their body even between meals. So here I'm making a batch of brioche donuts. This is a recipe from Lisa at Farmhouse on Boone. It has become a staple in our house. I do make these with sourdough. The original recipe she shared is yeast. I just substitute the yeast for a couple of tablespoons of sourdough starter, and it works perfectly. I'm letting the donuts rise while I'm working on some dinner rolls for dinner tonight. Again, always thinking ahead, what meal can I prepare now to make my life easier later in the day or later in the week? So this was rolls, dinner rolls to go with our steak and potatoes and green beans that night. And if I have children awake, they always inevitably find their way into the kitchen to help me when I'm making any sort of dough. I think they like tasting the dough more than actually working with the dough, but offering them into this time teaches them that they are able to help. They will learn the process of helping even more as they get older, so I'll always invite them into the kitchen and help me, even though messes, as we talked about earlier with the seeds, there are going to be more messes, but I know my heart will ache for those messes when they are older and they aren't making messes in my kitchen anymore. putting laundry on and off the line is also the perfect opportunity to get my baby outside with me in the grass, playing out on the ground, getting sunshine on his skin and his face. Oftentimes he's just wearing a diaper, but it was a little windy today and I just didn't take his clothes off. Having them outside with you, getting fresh air in their lungs, sun on their skin, helps so much with baby sleeping. So anytime I can get him outside with me is just wonderful. He's outside with me all the time, but if I can give him just kind of free playtime when I'm putting the laundry on and off the line, it's perfect. Sometimes he's sleeping in the wrap, but he loves to play on the floor, the ground when I'm doing this job. As I'm frying the donuts, I am munching on a raw carrot salad. If you don't know much about raw carrot salads, I will link some information about them below. They are wonderful for women, keeping hormones balanced. So it's something I go in and out of seasons of doing daily. I'm back in a season of doing them daily, and always feel so good when I eat raw carrot salads every day. So it's now time for the evening chores. I know some people on Homestead say there's so many evening chores. We really don't have that many. We just have to grab the calf, separate her from the mama so we can milk in the morning, and then just check waters. We don't feed all our animals. They're pretty self-sustainable at this point. We have summer and spring we have grass, and then we have supplemental hay in the fall and winter for when we need it. But we do live in Mississippi, so there is grass a lot of the time of the year. My children actually help with a lot of these tasks, such as you see me now doing watering. I'm checking waters. A lot of time my children will do this for me, and we just kind of walk out there together. But they were playing wonderfully, some activity, and when they're playing, I don't ever interrupt them to ask them to do something. If they want to come with me, they can. But it's actually a really relaxing job to check on animals and water animals as needed. Now we are moving on. This is not something we would do every day, so this is not really a chore, but putting out this fencing. So we had to, this is the electrical wire I was mentioning at the beginning of this video that we run through those posts. So this is some fencing at the front of our property that we are taking up the electrical wire from to move it to the back of our property to move our animals through that pasture. You see those posts that aren't set? Those are the permanent perimeter posts for this pasture fence. It's going to be a pretty large pasture that we'll be able to section up into lots using this electrical fencing. These white posts you see here and this electrical wire we're running, we'll be able to divide that fence up, that big pasture up, to rotate the animals through it. But we're just not there yet. Homesteading and building fencing takes time. Right now it's been very, very wet, so all of the fence post holes are full of water. So that's been a kind of a roadblock for getting that fence done. But our children are really learning to help so much with all of these jobs, and that's because we've always just brought them with us since day one on working on projects. When my oldest, who is helping me so much here now, was a baby when we first moved here. It's the exact same baby care you see me with my youngest. He was going all around the property with us, not helping, but watching us. I remember the first thing he actually started helping with was building our chicken coop. And now here he is putting out wiring for fencing. And it's such a blessing if you bring your kids along on all of this and let them see the labor and the love that goes into having a property and putting all this time and effort into raising animals to have sustainable food for your family. And they really are a big help. So I just encourage you, if you're wondering how you will homestead with children, I've been asked that question before, you just bring them along and show them how to do it, and they'll just start picking up and helping you all the time. This is our calf Lila. She is almost a year old now, but we still separate her at night so we can milk in the mornings, and that's not cruel. I mean, it might sound cruel, but they're fine with it. That's how we get milk in the morning. Then she's with mama cow all day. So here is that thick grass that we just moved the animals onto. You can see it's the main milk cow and a friend horse. The cow was really excited to get onto this beautiful, lush ryegrass that is just at optimal eating time. Ryegrass is what we plant in the winter to help with like erosion, as well as offer some extra nutrition for the animals before the spring grass starts coming in. the very end of this day, I'm finishing dinner. We are having steak, fried green beans, those rolls that I prepped earlier that day, and some baked potatoes. Yes, it sounds like a lot, but a lot of this I prepped ahead of time. So the baked potatoes were cooking while we were outside. The steak was ready just to fry up. The rolls were proofing while we were outside. The green beans, I just had to quickly toss in some freshly milled flour, salt and pepper, and fry them up. And this was just a really delicious dinner after a fun afternoon working together as a family around our homestead. Hope y'all enjoyed spending these couple of days with me around our farm, and I will talk to y'all in my next video.